Good evening, YouTube. It's June 24th, and I'm going to be starting a 6-part series on my stacking strategy of precious metals. And these are the line items I identified that I'm going to cover. So first will be budget. Now, important to any budget is knowing how you're going to fund your purchases. So what I have done, and I've been doing this for several years, is I've developed my own spreadsheet which I use to track all my income and expenses. And then this is month by month, and then there are 23 line items down this first column. Now in the first section I have my income and taxes. So I pay taxes quarterly. It's called quarterly because I'm self-employed, but actually it's January is the final payment for the prior year. Then we have our April, June, which is just 2 months later, and then September. So those are the times where we're required to pay our estimated taxes. And so there's just the 2 months that separate April and June. That tends to be my low cash at the end of June. And coincidentally, June tends to be the time when silver is, it's at its seasonal low. But what I want to do here is I project all my expenses according to those line items, and down here I have my shopping budget, and that includes my precious metal purchases. So with almost without exception, this covers all my income and expenses. The only difference is I do maintain a little bit of pocket change that will be reflected in the final balance for the month, but it's not necessarily reflected in my expenses. And so it's just good to know how you're going to fund your habit. And just to discuss briefly the strategy as a summary, is what I want to do is put 40% of my stack to be in something that's liquidable. So I have American Silver Eagles, I have some fractional Constitution, then I have some generic rounds, and my favorite, the Morgans. And just what a beautiful sound that is. I also have some bars. Here's a pressed bar, which is an Academy bar, and then a a poured bar. Which I love these poured bars, and I do count these actually towards my accumulation of weight or generics. So what I am able to do, because I am pretty much all in silver, so anything that's left, outside of a 3 to 6 month emergency fund for cash is going to be in this miscellaneous shopping category, which is going to be my precious metal purchases. And typically this is about $1,000 a month, or about 20%. So I'm all in on silver, and that's because I'm really starting over for the third time in my life. Starting over, thinking about retirement. The first, I was a victim of the dot-com bubble bursting in 2001, and then more personal and more recently, about 4 years ago, with my marriage. So yeah, so sometimes we just have to start all over, and I'm all in on silver. It's volatile, it's risky, and that is my choice. Just thinking about maybe someday I'd like to retire. I want to be able to preserve my wealth, and so that's what I'm doing. And I'll share a little more about my strategy in my next section when I discuss my goals. Those will be long-term goals and short-term goals. Thank you.